Okay, so this video is going to be about a 1963 Olivetti Underwood Lettera 22. And these are so popular. We don't come across them all the time, or not as often as we do a lot of the other models that you'll see on our shop. But when we get them, I really like them, and they go really quickly because they're just a fantastic typewriter. They seem to be really popular among the younger generations. So if you're looking, this is end of April. Graduation's coming up here in May and June. This is going to be your ideal graduation gift, in my personal opinion, would be an Olivetti Lettera 22. So if you have somebody who is an aspiring writer, poet, some sort of a creative, and they love vintage things, this Lettera 22 is going to be right up the alley for them. So let's take a look at it. Okay, here we have the Olivetti Underwood Lettera 22. Super popular vintage typewriter, and it is what I call a low profile typewriter. So what you can see here on the side, it's only about 3 inches tall. It comes in a zipper case. Let me see if I can grab that. So this is what it would originally have come in, and it has a handle and a zipper, so it's great for traveling. The handle, folds, so that's actually really important. When you put it in the case, you need to fold that handle. When you take it out, you need to unfold it. And it's an excellent typer. So even though you have to press a little bit further down, it is still what I would call small hand friendly. Though I will put an asterisk to that. It still will take some time to build up the strength to be able to push them down hard enough that you can gain some speed. But this one, it's such a pleasure to type on. Now, I really need to say this in all of my videos, so I'm going to say it this time. Just because this Lettera operates a certain way does not mean that's how all the Lettera 22s are going to operate. These are vintage machines, and however they were cared for is going to really impact how they perform. And then whether you you bought it refurbished or serviced or restored, or just, from a thrift store, it may need some work. So those are all the things that you have to, how it was stored, you have to take all of that into consideration. All I can do is give you a feedback on how this one's performing, and then also how it works in general. So if you've got one, grab it out. If you're trying to decide whether this would be a good model for you, this is still should be a good video tutorial for you. An active writer absolutely would love this, especially if you're on the go. Or you live in a tight space. It's a longer typewriter, so it's not the smallest typewriter. It's just low profile, so it could slide underneath something very easily. Okay, let me load some paper here. So you load your paper right here. It should slide through quite easily. If you need to adjust it to, this one loaded perfectly. I don't have to do anything to it, but this is your paper release lever right here on the right side. If you needed to adjust that paper in any way, you could do that. Just make sure you re-engage and put that metal bar down. Also, you have your margin sets right here. Okay. Also hidden right in here is your paper holder, which I love using these. Now this paper is a little small for it, but you can keep reading everything. Otherwise your paper is just going to flop over. So we'll just fold those back down. Your carriage release, which this is your carriage right here. You just put your thumb down on that and that releases the carriage. It's also here on the left side. We already did your paper release. You have your line selector here on the left side. So let's see, what is this one? That's nothing. Yeah, single, double, triple, it looks like, or nothing. Oh, there we go. There's the single, there's the double, there's the triple. So those are your options. If you go all the way to the top, it doesn't advance at all. There is also a carriage lock on this, and that's going to be right here. So what you want to do is you want to line up your carriage in the middle and flip that up, and usually it'll... Is it going to go in there? I don't know if this one's working, but it should slide in there and lock. I don't think this carriage lock is working, but that is what that is for. Now, underneath, here's your cover. Excuse me. And you want to use your hand. This one kind of pulls up and out, so you just kind of we're always afraid of breaking these. That one's in there pretty good. There we go. I had it open earlier. But yes, you're going to need to use a little umph and pull that out. You'll see it's got a notch in the metal right here. And that's on both sides. And it kind of, let me lift this up. The notch on the cover, where are we? I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. There's a little notch in here too, and it's going to fit underneath that. So when you put it back on, you'll put it back on at an angle, and that's on both sides. And so that's how that works. There's not a lot of ribbon on here right now. We're out of ribbon, so we're waiting for our shipment to arrive. So there's just a tiny bit on there, mainly just so I could type on it and show it to you. But this does not use a universal ribbon. It uses a specialty spool. And so you have to twist the cap off and take your spool out. If yours doesn't have a spool, you'll have to search in different online marketplaces to see if you can find spools that will fit a Underwood Olivetti. And then you just kind of screw it back on, but you don't want to screw these on too tight, or else then your ribbon spool won't turn. It can be frustrating. I'm going to be completely honest with you, figuring out just the right tension on that. And I'm just telling you the truth. That's just one of the things that you're going to have to work with. And so when you do thread the ribbon, it's going to come out over here and go across this little roller. And then there's a lever right here. And this is also your ribbon reversal. And that needs to thread through there as well. Comes through. And the best thing I can do is hold this up, and you can pause it or screenshot it to get an idea of how we threaded that ribbon through the vibrator here. And here, let me turn this over again so you can see. And I can't see my screen on my phone right now because there's something in the way, so I'm hoping you see this. But there's that little spool that you have to go around. And it's going to be the exact same on the other side. Okay, so you want to make sure your ribbon goes over that and around and underneath here. And then this is the lever. I don't know if you can see that. And that's the ribbon reversal, but you also need to thread your ribbon through that. And so you can move it back and forth, and that's going to reverse the direction of your ribbon. Sorry for the scratchy voice. Lots of pollen out here, so I am definitely feeling that in my throat. I am not sure. There's a lever here. I'm not exactly sure what that's for. I am assuming that is the tension selector that determines how hard the type bars strike your paper. Okay, let me put this back down and make sure it snaps down all the way. Also, okay, so then, oh, excuse me. There are no tabs on this one either. Well, maybe there are. No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Okay, let me It's been a while since I've used one. This one is your margin release. This is your backspace. I bet this is the tab set, and that must be the tab. Okay, there's the tab. That red button's the tab. Let's see if we can set one. Let's try this way. There we go. Okay, so down, pressing. Let me lift this up again. Sorry, we're a little slow today. But hey, if you're in a hurry, you probably are not in the market for a typewriter. Okay, so this is your tab set. Down is to set, up is to clear. All right, did I get it in the screen? Like I said, I can't see because there's some covering my screen. And so I'm kind of doing this blindly. So tab, press down to set, press up to clear. So let's see, it should have cleared it. It did. Let's clear that one. And then let's go in the middle. We'll set. There we go. It's just slow to move. Let's type a line on here. Oh, really nice. The reason people all like them, I think, one, they love the color, just so fun. But these are just great performing machines. So to do your margin release, so let's set our tabs, no, not tabs, let's set our margins. I'm going to bring it in. And let's retype some of that sentence. Oops, that doesn't work to hit 2 keys. Why did not work? Let's try this again. There's the bell. The bell is so faint on this one. Okay, so now it's stopped, and that's what it was supposed to do. I have learned that on some typewriters, if you start typing too close to the margin, it doesn't kick in. I don't know why, but that's what happened before. So now it's stopped on me. I'm going to hit the margin release. I'm going to hit the margin release. There we go. I can finish that, go to the next line, and there's your backspace. Again, this is your tab. Here's your color selector. It's on red right now. We'll flip it up to black so you can have a 2-color, and you can get anything other than black and red. There's other options out there for you. Just know that if you have it on the middle selection, the white, your typewriter is not going to type properly. That's for stencils. So make sure it's firmly on the it's actually blue color, but it's black ribbon. Make sure it's firmly on that blue or the red. So if you're having trouble typing, check 2 things. Reverse the direction of your ribbon, and then make sure your color selector is firmly where it needs to be. So this is the Olivetti. Lettera 22. And it's a fantastic machine. It's so pretty, so lovely, so simple to use, and it's a good workhorse that's going to last if it's taken care of well. So, all right, thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.